I'm Ross Rebagliati, and I'm 1998 snowboard gold medalist, and been part of the whole cannabis revolution and movement since then. Since I tested positive after I won, and we are on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
The number one sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. Roll it up and fire it up. Entertainment.
Taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver. Get down or lay down. Lay down. Lay down.
This is I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. We are going live.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
That shit happens, you know, you just smoked a joint and then I fucking forgot to turn on the mic.
I know, right? I was just at a Pod TV doing a podcast here with my buddy on Growing On, talking about growing. We probably smoked at least 3 during the podcast. I'm ready to go, bud.
Yeah, and feel free to drink and smoke all you want on here. I technically can't smoke, but I just did a couple seconds ago.
Right on. Just for fun, I might like this.
Yeah, just like I work for the city, so I can't see someone smoking. So.
Right. Understood.
Okay. And I got a game also. Every time I say or I stumble upon a word, I have to drink. I got the vodka soda water going on.
Okay.
Okay.
I got pure water and
yeah, that's all you need, right?
That's it.
What was it like winning the 98 gold medal in Nagano?
A lot of different emotions. There was some ups and downs.
Yeah, I know.
Just being just being there was crazy in itself. And and then I knew I was going to be competitive, so winning it was great, and it was its own thing. But then what happened afterwards with the controversy with the whole cannabis, just took it to the next level. And that's it was a blessing in disguise at the time. Of course, I realized cannabis was going to be a thing in the future as far as legalization, but no one knew, of course, if that would ever happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But I was given the opportunity to sort of carry that torch, and it came with some, travel bans and a lot of stigma and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That era, but I'm happy to be where I am now.
What was the opening ceremonies like? Do you remember those?
Yeah, those were unreal. I mean, just since you brought it up, I'm remembering the stadium that we were in, and the jets flying over top, playing the Mozart or whatever.
Yeah.
Music. It was just unreal with all the athletes and a filled stadium. And I think now with COVID and, the last few months that we've been through here and, in Canada, remembering what it was like to be in a true, event like that, where there was, thousands of people all together, vibing out on the same thing,
Yeah.
it's a sharp contrast.
Okay. What were your first thoughts when the THC showed up in the blood?
That was a heart-stopping moment. I basically knew that it was the only thing that I might have been testing positive for, because I was in the environment that I would have been potentially testing positive for secondhand smoke. Little did I know. I felt like leading up to the games, I decided that I wasn't going to use cannabis until after the games, but I didn't figure out to not be at the barbecues or to worry about the secondhand smoke. I didn't even give it a second thought. So that was a little bit me dropping the ball, but I think also the science wasn't there and the information wasn't really there about it. And I was doing drug tests leading up to the games, and nothing was coming back to us. And that could have been part of the problem why they had to give my medal back, because as you probably know, it's the only medal that's ever been given back before. And when it all happened, my test results came out that I tested positive for cannabis in all 3 of my drug tests before I got to Nagano. And so it's kind of like, well, how did that even happen without me knowing about it? And then as it turned out, cannabis wasn't on the list of banned substances for the Olympics, the way it was on the World Cup tour for some reason. And so that's why it never came to our attention that I was testing positive for it, because they weren't testing for it, except the IOC still tried to enforce the ban on cannabis that they didn't have at the time. So it was kind of like a big, huge mistake. And so anyways, what can you say?
Yeah, what were your thoughts on when you finally got it back?
I was glad to get it back, but I was traumatized by that time. And
Plus the slander you must have gotten too, right?
yeah, I mean, it came with its good, and it was good and had its good parts, let's say. And there were people that supported me, and there were people that didn't support me. There was a whole cannabis platform that I accepted and was carrying the cannabis torch there for 20 years. And it's just kind of like being a politician in a way where you're never going to win all the votes, right? And if you can come to terms with that, then you're good to go.
I never even knew about secondhand smoke until your incident growing up.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Never thought about it before then.
Yeah, for sure. And then all of a sudden now you have to kind of take it in. Like, no pun intended.
No, I mean, that's part of the norm now, and I think it definitely scared a lot of athletes that were kind of on the fence of using cannabis and if they should or shouldn't in between testing. And what my hope is, and WADA just took CBD off the list of banned substances so that athletes can have the benefits of the anti-inflammatory and anti-anxiety from a natural source.
The CBDs.
The CBD, and then eventually, THC is going to have to. It's only the responsible thing to do for the IOC right now is to allow THC, and even having public consumption at the Olympics for the athletes. I mean, they've got bars that are for the athletes in Athletes Village. So
yeah,
taking it one step further and having a place for those athletes, and of course that's never going to happen because it is what it is. But you got to put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, really, alcohol is probably worse for you than weed, definitely.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's how much do you say you smoke a day? That's not one of my questions. I'm just asking.
Oh, well, when I'm not interrupted by various road trips or whatnot, I'm probably up in the I don't know. I'm gonna have to say around at least 5 or 6 grams a day.
Okay.
something like that. I think if you're smoking joints that are, gram joints, I'm probably up around, 5 or 6 big joints a day.
Yeah.
Something like that. It all depends what I'm doing. Just like anything, I don't have a regiment. I don't, there's no like time or whatever. I like to wake up, have my coffee, smoke a joint, look at my plants, kind of get my day sorted out in my head before the kids wake up. And, and I kind of just treat it kind of like the way I treat coffee, more or less.
Are your kids snowboarding?
The kids like snowboarding and are interested in snowboarding, and for some reason they're all skiers, and that probably has something to do with me having gone to skiing when they were just little. But I used to. We were just talking about this a little bit on the show, but I was a ski racer growing up, and then transitioning into snowboarding, and then I did that for a good couple of decades there, and now going back to skis is so much fun and kind of gives me that passion to get back up on the hill. And with the new ski shapes that they didn't have back in the 80s when I started snowboarding, now all of a sudden my skis are like snowboards and totally react differently than what skis used to be like. So I'm having a lot of fun skiing right now, and I'll probably get back on my board. Maybe Rocco, my youngest kid, he'll want to snowboard, and the next thing you know, I'll be back snowboarding.
Yeah.
I'm not putting any parameters on it.
Do you still have that Sports Illustrated from 2008? You had a full page write-up on you and everything?
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, do you keep any memorabilia or anything like that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've kept a lot of stuff. I've got so much stuff. At first it was just kind of like, oh, I got in a magazine, or I got the cover of a magazine, and I would just keep things like bigger stuff like that. But then all of a sudden it was like, okay, the US Open, I win the US Open, so I would keep a bunch of shit from the US Open. And the next thing you know, 10 years of racing goes by and you got all kinds of shit. And then you top it off with the gold medal, fucking keep that, so yeah.
What do you think? Your gold medal is obviously your best one, your best memorabilia?
You know what? I think the Mount Baker Bank Slalom duct tape trophy is probably my favorite one.
Okay.
And, but no, I mean, the Olympics was a special event, and it's in itself its own thing.
You were the first Canadian to win gold, right?
First ever time snowboarding was in the Olympics, actually. So, yeah, first Canadian. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a couple more medals in snowboarding since then. So we've been there's a good tradition at the Olympics for Canadians.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially 2010, we had a great run. You do any partying in 2010? I bet you did.
No, I don't know. I think I was having kids and stuff in 2010. Okay. I've been having kids for the last 10 years probably. Yeah. So been a lot of family time.
Okay, yeah, the Olympics just stand out as something that was like life-changing. It was so awesome just being downtown all day. Yeah. Or Whistler had it as well, right? Yeah,
I've been to a couple of Olympics, and I was at the Salt Lake City Games, and just as a spectator, and there's definitely an atmosphere that you don't get anywhere else, that's for sure.
And you work with like Make-A-Wish Foundation, and what other foundations?
Well, that was a few years ago, so I'm not going to say we've done anything recently, but Big Brothers was another one that we've worked with in the past, and Make-A-Wish, we had a boy come out from Florida to ride with me in Whistler, and various, anytime there's an opportunity, if somebody reaches out that wants to, we did one for diabetes a few years ago, and awareness, but yeah, I think, for us, for me, it's important to be able to give back when I can. And so we're always game for a charity golf tournament or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Put on like a charity golf tournament one time where I have all the guests on my show show up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how that goes.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I need to find a sponsor somehow.
Well, maybe we can work on a sponsor for you.
Hey, that would be sweet. Are you still doing politics?
Well, you never really get out of politics, do you? I don't
No?
know. No, I think I've been doing family and weed for the last, a good 10 years. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna continue kind of growing the whole Ross Gold brand and being part of the cannabis industry for as long as possible, forever probably. And
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about any PM stuff or
Yeah.
or
Okay. Hey, I don't actually. Yeah, I actually don't have any questions about that stuff. I was just seeing if you were still getting into it. And we're going to get on to your legacy brands and the Ross Gold coming up in a few questions. So,
Sure.
okay. How do you feel weed is a performance enhancer?
Yeah, it is.
I just want to go eat in the fridge and.
Right. Well, that's enhancing. I mean, you got to eat, right? So
Yeah.
it's all about making sure you're eating the right food at the end of the day. But I've actually used cannabis just to increase my hunger, just so I remember to eat. And it's reminding me that I'm hungry right now, as a matter of fact. But yeah, now through science, there's been a lot of research in the last 10 years that has literally shown under a microscope that our cannabinoid system has been deficient throughout prohibition, and with cannabinoids going into their receptors where they're supposed to be, it actually enables all the cells in your body to perform more functions than they do without the cannabinoids. So it literally is performance enhancing. However, I was corrected at a charity by a doctor who said that now you're just running at optimal performance, so it's not really performance enhancing. So then I came back and said, well, then the end of prohibition was performance enhancing. So it's actually healthier now that we're through with prohibition.
Do you drink or no?
I don't.
Oh, okay. See, then on that note, I think I would rather be only a pothead than be an alcoholic.
Right.
And I mean, I love to drink. I go to Canuck games and shit, and I drink and enjoy it. But it's always the liquor that I regret the most. It's never the weed. I don't wake up feeling, oh my God, I smoked too many joints last night. But I wake up being like, oh my God, I had so many beers last night.
Right. I know. I did that. I got good at drinking, and I was promoting a vodka label at one point. And, yeah, things got a lot of, more. I just wanted to focus more on my health, and I figured out that I wasn't that interested in drinking as I was in, just trying to improve my fitness basically. And, I'm planning on doing the Ironman next summer in Penticton. So
Okay.
That's something that I've been putting out there just to sort of solidify that goal to, make sure that happens. And I found that with just not drinking, I was able to lower my body weight and focus way easier. Are you out of here now? Okay. We're just going from one podcast straight into another, so I'm still in the studio.
Oh, that's all good, man. No worries. Yeah. Hey, you made the 2013. You were on the cover of High Times. Right.
So that's when we started Ross Gold.
Yeah.
That was pre everything, and we were right in the throes of the whole gray market and having a dispensary, and fighting for legalization, which wasn't anywhere in sight in 2013, right? Harper was still in.
Yeah.
And so it didn't seem like we were on the forefront of anything at the time, but now looking back on it, I'm pretty honored to have been part of the whole transition from the gray into the white market now, and having survived it as a brand. Is I think also one of the things that there are few brands that are coming from that era into the new era the way we are. So we're, we feel like the brand traction and the support that we have is genuine, and we're not paying for it. We're not doing massive advertising or anything right now, and we haven't been for a couple of years, and we still seem to be growing somehow.
Yeah, see, I mean, I voted for Trudeau just because I wanted him to approve
Right.
marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons I voted for him. But yeah,
I know. I mean, there's other people. I fucking don't want to talk politics, but other people don't like him. But that's why I voted him. He made the biggest change in our lifetime. Our
yeah,
parents never have thought that would happen.
unbelievable. Like nobody could have, seen that coming even in 2013. Like we didn't even think that would be possible. And even when Trudeau was saying he was going to do it, there was always something in the back of my mind was thinking, well, like, how much can you really do in one term as a prime minister? And he really, made a point of getting that done on the first,
Yeah.
the first thing he did. So it was quite the turn of events, and caused a lot of turmoil, of course, because there was a whole shift, and continues to straighten itself out now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Just like my partner not wanting me smoking joints on the video.
Right.
Yeah, because we all have jobs. I mean, I don't really mind it. I can clip it out and shit, but
Right.
yeah, he doesn't want me smoking
Well, there's
joints.
still a long way to go, like you're saying. Like, it's okay if you're having a little beer or something like that,
Yeah,
but
right?
it's okay to have a smoke. And I think, that's the ground that we have to make up here over
Yeah.
the next few years. And I think, when the statistics come out, because they haven't really been keeping too much track about health and how it relates to cannabis use. But I think once those numbers start showing, it's going to be a big surprise, I think, to most people that aren't
And
supporting it already.
at the same time, it's Friday night. I'm off till Monday. Like I should be allowed to openly smoke weed, right?
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
instead, I got to worry about. I mean, we're having a podcast, but if I can't smoke with you, I'm worrying that oh no, somebody might see it. But I don't work till Monday anyway. So
Right. I used to operate like that too, like before Nagano, and then
yeah,
I came out of the pot closet in Nagano, and
yeah.
the next thing you know is like, my dad was doing interviews about me smoking weed. My grandma's like, well, if the Indians smoked weed, then it must be good for you, and
It comes from the ground, right?
right, it's
And
natural.
that's like, oh, that's what I was going to ask you as we were talking there. I thought of a question. Do you ever think mushrooms will be legal?
Oh yeah, they're definitely coming along down that road. So there's a whole movement right now as we speak, actually, to decriminalize and legalize. I'm not exactly sure exactly what stage they're in, but they're going in the same direction as cannabis and other things too. Like I think MDMA is getting approved as a medicine, and all sorts of other
It's a
psychedelic.
medicine for a good time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Is living a better life and microdosing to
Yeah,
keep
microdose. A
and
lot of
not,
people.
it's just like alcohol too. It's not intended to be, you're not supposed to binge drink alcohol. That's not the intent of it. And it's the same with everything. I mean, people have different tolerances, and definitely with microdosing on
Mushroom.
psilocybin or LSD or whatever, there's been a lot of research going into it, and I've had my own positive experiences. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
behind it.
Pardon me?
I'm behind it for sure.
Okay. And microdosing is the new way of doing things.
That's it. Yeah, you can just stay on that level of that
Awesome.
sober. You can stay sober basically, and just have that, instead of drinking coffee all day, you can have that nice little energy that helps you focus and keep, you got to do the dishes, you got to make kids lunch, and you got to focus. And to be honest, it's something that, it's because it's the non-addictive nature to it, makes it manageable for people.
Yeah, that's for sure. The 2015, you launched your own glassware. I read that online, but does that mean bongs?
Yeah, Roscoe Glass, and we were nationwide for the last few years with the glass, and just today we were in some in some stores in downtown Vancouver, and we got glass for sale there. So it's been a great way to grow the brand and to really get on the same level as the consumer, and basically, give that consumer the products that they need to smoke their favorite buds. And we really wanted to be part of that whole, consumer care part, and really worry about what they're after. And that's why we're all about craft cannabis, and we always have been. And contrary to the trend and the new legal producers, I think that we're finally on track and figuring out that that's what that everybody wants and always did want. And so now there's a way for people who have been growing in the ACMPR or that whole side of things to transition into the new legal market, and that's a great step forward.
So it was bongs though that you were making, bongs and pipes.
Bongs, pipes,
Okay.
dab rigs, yeah, all that stuff for sure.
Awesome. Why do you feel athletes love cannabis? Like Gronkowski's out there doing it, Darren McCarthy's out there doing it. Like they're all realizing. I know it because I like to call myself an athlete. I play beer league hockey, but
yeah, I think the draw of it is that it's repeatable. Like you can do it at night, and you can do it in the morning, and you can do it, pre-game, and you're not consuming extra calories. There's not extra. It's carb free, 0 carbs, 0 calories. You're also, relaxing and enjoying the night. It doesn't necessarily, like, I totally can operate no problem without drinking if I've got my weed, and that kind of like trips that switch for me. So I don't feel like it's the way I want to wake up in the morning, and it's the way I want to go to bed at night, and it's the way I want to spend, my afternoon. So it just goes great for me, and doing the sports, because it's repeatable. You can incorporate it into your healthy lifestyle, and that's really part of our message as a brand, is how cannabis can be part of a healthy lifestyle, and the way it can integrate into whatever activities that you enjoy the most, whether it's playing an instrument or skiing or riding bikes. It really does lend itself to being active, and the science has even shown that cannabis is linked to a low body mass index, and so cannabis use. So that's lots of tests, lots of people. So that's what we always thought, but now we're getting actual science to back it up.
For me personally, like, I smoke definitely within 45 minutes of my fucking hockey games, and I would love to smoke closer. If I could somehow put my skate guards on and walk outside and smoke a joint, that'd be great, but you can't do that yet. And so yeah, I when I smoke, it gives me energy. I want to go do stuff. Like, I smoke and I want to clean my house, or I fucking want to go play
You
hockey.
should bring your vape pen on the bench, and it doesn't even smell like weed, right? So you can just have a little vape right on the bench in between your shift.
We've actually done that a few times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started a scrap the next shift.
Yeah, like for when we were racing, like it was never really something that we wanted to do like on race day or anything like that. It was something like after the race would be, if we were in a country where we had some weed with us, or something like France or whatever, then after the race, no problem. But for some reason, weed you don't want to do it before the race or during the race. Like, I don't know, just.
You're going down a hill at full speed. I sure as fuck don't want to do it.
Well, I like doing it for training and stuff like that, but not on race day for some reason. It's just like one of those, even though back in the day there was no rules against it, we just never, it just kind of, was interesting. Weeds like that a little bit.
So how many stores do you have nowadays? Because you guys started stores and you got your own like weed shops, right?
So we did back before pre-legalization. And so what we've done is we've basically shut everything down that we were doing. And we're in the process of relaunching in the new legal era as we speak. So you'll be seeing more from us in the next 12 months than you have in the last 3 years probably.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. It's good to have your own brand. I like that. That's what we're trying to do with our podcast, is brand it and brand it and brand it. It's called I Only Touch Greatness because I'm only putting the big name people I can find, biggest people I can find on my interviews. And that's a brand, right?
I appreciate it. Well, thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you coming on, taking the time to smoke even with me, even though I smoked a couple seconds beforehand. But
Right on.
I look forward to doing future business. Let's put a golf tournament together.
Okay, let's do it.
I could get it some NHL players. Because I'm interviewing all the best NHL or all these older guys that are just starting to retire, or the kids coming up. The kids coming up, we probably can't market very well because they're afraid to get in trouble for marijuana, right? So all the older guys, though, like we can invite them to the golf tournament, maybe do something like that. And where do you live in these days? I didn't even ask that.
Yeah, I'm up in the Okanagan now.
Okay. Ever heard of Tulameen?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to Tulameen in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice. Good up there.
Yeah, I had a cabin up there for like 25 years, and then we just sold it last week. But
oh no.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for coming on, Russ.
Okay, bud. Thanks, Ryan.
Hey, I'm Ryan, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
Fuck yeah.